live. Welcome to Radio Mythoverse for August 13th, 2019.
Thank you so much, Cara, for that beautiful introduction. You just heard the Changeling theme from Zalyn Tallis. Maeve Mackenzie, the lead character of Changeling, is the youngest of the Mythoverse 3. We join her at age 14 as a young, socially awkward Christian girl who suddenly discovers that she is a changeling, or a fae baby that was switched for a human baby. Hers is a fascinating story, and Zalyn Tallis did a fantastic job, as always, capturing the tone of her tale with that track. So the digital download of that track was made available in our recently funded Kickstarter campaign, so if you backed it at certain tiers, you will receive a copy of that song in your inbox, along with the rest of the digital rewards. Zalyn has done a lot of work for a lot of independent creators, including the Rags team, who we all love, so he is very prolific. I'll put a link to his channel called Comic Book Music in the description below. In addition, under that song, you saw Neon Maeve, an adorable animation based on the Neon Maeve, the Neon meme with a Mythoverse twist. The art was done by Changeling colorist Ginger Foxy, and the frames were animated by Brett McGowan. So, good evening, folks. I'm Dan, one of the lead creators and editor-in-chief of the Mythoverse, and with me tonight are the other two lead creators, as always, the head of community outreach, Brett, and our head writer, Matt. Hey, guys, glad to be on with you as always. How's it going?
Hey.
If memory serves, and my eyes do not deceive me, we also have a special guest with us tonight, Ginger Foxy.
Hello.
Hey, Ginger. Glad to have you on the show. Ginger is the colorist and letterist for Changeling, one of the three launch titles of the Mythoverse, so welcome.
Thank you.
So how is everybody doing tonight before we get into it?
Great.
Great?
I'm cool.
That's it?
The stream looks really good.
Yeah, I think so. One of the things that I'd like to mention before we get started is we are now currently dual streaming on YouTube and Twitch, and the chat window has been revamped to relay chat from both platforms. So if you're on Twitch or you're on YouTube, your chat will display in the same spot right there. So anyway, as always, I love to start off the stream with good news. So before we get into anything else, and this week I am very pleased to be able to announce something very, very cool. I would like to announce that Wicked Publishing, the publishing house that is responsible for publishing the Mythoverse as well as many other fine books, has reached 1,500 Twitter followers. So congratulations, guys. That's really exciting to be able to be with you when you reach that milestone. And I have on the screen right now a fantastic piece of artwork to celebrate that milestone. This is the cover of the Wicked magazine, and it is a beautiful montage, or collage, if you will, of every main character in the Wicked catalog. We have here got Jack Irons representing the Ironverse. We got Maeve, Adobe, and Althea here representing the Mythoverse. We got Sporkman, we've got Charger, we've got the Wrath characters, we've got McKinnon Chronicles, we've got Project R, we've got even Evelyn here from the Dreams of Peace, Acts of War upcoming novel by our friend Tank. So this artwork here was done by Ori. He is an extremely talented and versatile artist, and it was colored by Ian, who is a close friend of Leandro Panganiban, the penciler for Adobe Kroger. So just look at that. That is an amazing piece of work right there. I love it.
Thanks for posting a link to Ori's Twitter there, Gorgonite.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I have Ori's Twitter open here. Let me see if I can find that. Or I did. Hold on a second. I may have lost it. Let me just go ahead and get that up real quick. Ori's been doing a lot of work for a lot of for us, and there we go. So here's his Twitter right here. Let me just cycle through some of his work here.
Go ahead.
One thing you'll notice that there is a running theme here. He really likes Warhammer 40K, so a lot of his work involves mashing up characters into that universe. This is a really good one here. Check out this, and it's pretty neat that he works traditionally. As you can see, he does all of his work on paper with ink and marker.
Yeah, I see the one with the Emperor and the Primarchs.
Mm-hmm. And here we have another one. And this one I really like, and this one here is, of course, Regina Rakowski in that universe. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so you can see pretty solid work all around by Ari. And
I can't tell if he was putting Regina in Space Marine or Sister of Battle Armor.
all right, so congratulations to the Wicked team for reaching this milestone. I'm just gonna leave this artwork up for a little bit longer so you can all just drink it in. This is the cover to the first issue of the Wicked magazine, which will be coming out later this year. That'll feature some work from all of us. I'm putting up some pages of my Call Me Chuck Molly Beans spinoff. I think Matt's got a short story or two. Matt, you want to talk about that short story real quick?
Basically, the short story is from Mythics, and it'll deal with one of Althea's cases, which takes her to California.
Nice. Now, if memory serves, wasn't there some artwork done by God, what was his name? I'm drawing a blank right now. It's been a long day. But there was some artwork done with some mechs, wasn't there?
Oh yes, it'll be for my regular series. Cobalt.
Killbox, that's his name. Yes, Killbox.
Yep.
I was drawing a blank for a moment there. And talk about that real quick for us.
Well, basically, it's basically a giant robot series where it follows a squad of pilots. And initially, I pitched it as a light novel series, but it'll be more along the lines of a short story series because I don't have a story idea that's that long yet.
Basically, it'd be like a pulp, but even shorter.
Yep.
Nothing wrong with that. I mean, it is fitting into a magazine, so there's going to be a lot of other works in there. It's kind of like the Heavy Metal magazine where you had those short stories and illustrated and otherwise.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Thank you again, Gorgonite, for putting the link to Killbox's Twitter, as well as Gorgonite's Twitter.
We're going to take care of that already.
Also, I feel like pointing out that the main character is a ginger, so expect a black woman to play the role for the Hollywood adaptation.
Of course. I mean, you're just sentencing the ginger to death if you dare cast one. So don't even do it. It's not even worth it. All right. Well, Brett, do you have anything going into the magazine? Brett?
I don't think I have anything for that.
Wah. All right, so nothing from Brett, but guess what? He's got lots of other cool stuff coming on.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that is Wicked Publishing. Before I move on here, let me go over to Wicked Publishing's page, and it's at squareup.com/store/Wicked Publishing, and I have it up right now. And here you have links to purchase all of the currently available books. You got Decimators, Sporkman, Barrels, Project R, and some merchandise too, including some of our very own Maeve. A couple of them, actually.
Yeah, I think that's some of the merchandise I put up on TeePublic.
Mm-hmm. So we got Maeve, the Christmas here, the Christmas Banshee. And
Yeah, oh man, you remember that one Ginger?
Oh, yeah, of course.
we got the McKinnon Chronicles print of the space battle, a whole bunch of cool stuff. So, yeah, go check out the Wicked store, pick up some merch, and support these guys. They work their asses off, and they're going out of their way to help us get the Mythoverse off the ground, and as far as the printing and the distribution, and reaching out to cons and all that stuff. So, I'd really love to see them get some
That
support.
Christmas print was just so cute.
Yeah, I'm going to bring it up again because I want everyone to have a chance to really look at it.
Even though it's out of season.
It won't be for very much longer.
It'll be Christmas before you know it.
Yeah, we're halfway through August, man, so we're coming up on the holiday season.
Right now, my
Some
stores.
people are doing their shopping already for Christmas
This is true.
before they run out of money.
So if you
My store. I will tell you. I will tell you this. Store I work at. We get our Christmas merchandise in as early as late September.
Well, if you're going to do some Christmas shopping now, may I suggest this lovely Maeve print from the Wicked store. So, all right. So, before we move on to the community announcements, I wanted to offer up one last bit of good news. The audio cast is coming along beautifully. If you are a patron on our Patreon page, you've already heard a nice little preview of it, in addition to getting all the Mytho Chibis comics early. All we're waiting on is one last segment to be recorded. Once that's received, it'll be good to go. I finished writing up the framing device that'll go around the first episode, and we'll be recording that this weekend. And all in all, it's coming together beautifully, and I'm really excited to let everyone have a look at it. We're going to try to officially premiere it on the 27th, possibly during the Radio Mythoverse show. So you're going to love it. It'll have a lot of world building, a lot of cool character stuff, and quality voice acting. So, as we mentioned on an earlier episode of Radio Mythoverse, the audiocast does have a working title. Currently, it is called Narratus Mythologica. However, we also announced that we'd like to give the community a chance to name it. So if you think you've got a good name for this ongoing feature, hit us up in the Discord, ping us on Twitter at Mythoverse, or maybe send us an email at mythoversecomics@gmail.com. The best name from the community will win. Obviously, you will have your name be the official name of the audiocast, and you will win a character spot, possibly recurring in the audiocast itself. So let's get those old brain cases churning and see if you can come up with a cool name for this audiocast.
Alabaster's asking, is there an opening for a narrator?
Of course. Send us some samples. We've got endless roles coming up. So if you think you got the chops and you're interested in contributing to the project, send us some samples. Either DM them to us via Twitter or email them to us. Or just, if you're in the Discord, just get it to us that way. You can DM them directly to any one of us admins. Okay. All right. So let's move over to the community announcements segment. As usual, we're going to start off with announcing the winner of the Me6 contest. Do we have one this week?
Yeah. Let me pull it up right now. Whoops, that was wrong key. All right, pulling it up right now. At the leaderboard. Okay, guys, just gotta do a little reset here and there. I've been slipping, damn. And Dylan's streak is maintained for one more week.
Are you serious? Can no one end this reign of terror? No, congratulations again, Dylan. You're a wonderful part of our community. We're glad to have you, and you always make the Discord a much more of a fun place. So once again, you get the no prize. You guys got to step it up, though, man. It's getting kind of boring congratulating him every single week.
For the fourth week in a row, his streak.
My God, he's invulnerable, man. He's just flicking aside competitors like fleas, man.
He's more like I sort of draw comparisons to the Undertaker here, because like Undertaker used to win at every WrestleMania he went to. No one could touch him.
So you're waiting for Brock Lesnar to show up?
We need a Brock Lesnar to knock him down. That's what we need. We need a Brock Lesnar to knock Dylan down.
If there are any Brock Lesnars in the Discord, please knock him down. Okay. No, we love you, Dylan. We're glad that you're so enthusiastic and active in the community. Right. So keep it up, my friend.
Gonna reset all the XP now.
Okay. XP is reset, so now everyone has an equal chance, but it's going to be Dylan again, so don't bother. Okay, so moving on. The weekly art contest was pushed back to more of a monthly thing to give the artists more of a chance to come up with cool ideas. And the idea was floated that rather than saying, hey, within this theme you have to draw the Mythoverse ladies, why don't we just have that be like, within this theme, do whatever you want? And that's a good idea. It gives everyone a little bit more flexibility. I did want to suggest something, though, for the next iteration of the contest. Do we have a theme selected for next September's theme?
Well, I think right now we're still. I think the only thing that's been floated was back to school.
Okay, well that will be appropriate. School has started up in our county. My 8-year-old has just gone back to school. She's loving it. But yeah, most of the country goes back closer to September, so that would be a good time to introduce the back to school theme. So on that note, I wanted to float the idea of some actual tangible prizes for those who kick ass in this contest. I offer maybe a bit more of an incentive for them. So I'm going to put up on the screen my wand pool corner, where I have 2 of my prize wand pool posters, 24 by 36, framed in the corner of my office. Now here's the cool thing. I backed wand pool 3 times at the same level, so I ended up getting 3 shirts and 3 sets of these 2 beautiful posters. So I have 2 each of these posters just sitting around doing nothing. So what I'm going to propose is, for the winner of our next contest, you get one of these 24 by 36 prints by Luigi from the Rags team, depicting Wanpool and the Radical Nemesis in exciting action poses. So get a quick look at that, and if you like what you see and you think you got the chops, try your hand at winning one of these at our back to school contest in a couple weeks. So get your ideas flowing.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Mm-hmm. So with that being said, let me see. So it's going to be a back to school thing. All right. So what I want to do right now is, where is it? I want to talk about some specific artists in our community. But before I do that, we do have Ginger with us. So I would like to give her the opportunity to have the floor for a moment and discuss the things that she wants to discuss.
I didn't know I had things I wanted to discuss,
Or
but
did you have things to show us? Did you have things to show us?
well, technically, but I guess there's no way to share my screen.
Okay.
So
well, here's what we'll do.
Have to send the picture to someone.
Go ahead and drop it in the Discord. Let me know what channel it's in, and I'll go ahead and get those into OBS, and we can show them.
It'd be easy if you just DM it to Dan.
Yeah, just DM it to me in the Discord.
Okay. Well, basically, I started coloring the pages I received today, and
Ooh, that's exciting.
I'm kind of coloring 8 of them, sort of have like a conveyor belt system going.
That's nice.
You need to describe how that works.
Yeah, well, basically, say I'm starting with coloring Maeve. So, say I start with her hair, so I color her hair on one page in every panel, and then I move on to the next page, and I do Maeve's hair there, and so on. Mm-hmm. And now I'm filling in her skin. The same system. So I'm gonna continue doing that until I have all the flats in place, and then I'm gonna shade the pages one by one.
That's an interesting process. I've never even thought of doing it that way.
Does it help save on time?
I think so. That's my theory.
How is it working out so far?
Well, it seems to be working.
Alright,
because you kind of have to think differently about how you place your flats and how you shade them. So I guess it's since you don't have to kind of switch those mental gears, it should make things faster.
Okay, so it's like you can basically just zone out and do it.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's kind of like it kind of reminds me of like back when I used to work at Burger King. Like like one of the jobs I had was like putting like burgers together, and you had to like memorize how the system worked, and you could just like it was just down to muscle memory at that point where you were just sort of just putting a Whopper together without really thinking about it.
That's basically fast food in general, though.
Well, that's what it sounds like to me. Like at that point, it's just muscle memory.
Yeah, pretty much. As I say, until you get to the shading, and then you kind of have to assess each panel individually because the lighting is all different.
Okay, so when it's flats, you can basically just go through it without really thinking about it. And then when you start shading, then you have to stop and think about what you're doing.
Yeah, pretty much. So I'm effectively just putting that bit off, I guess. Making sure I have everything in place for it first.
You get the screenshots into Dan yet?
No, because I'm trying to arrange all of the windows on one screen before I make the screenshot.
Okay.
No rush. Everyone's waiting to see this. Trust me.
Well, I guess while we wait on that, I'll just say like yesterday, if you were in the Discord, I tried to write a new community event, which was a weekly movie night done through a cast server. Now, it turned out to be a little bit of a bust because I did not know this, but apparently, you have to have cast downloaded just to watch.
Okay. Well,
yeah,
that's good. As long as everyone is aware of that. If they want to partake in our weekly movie nights, they'll be at each Monday, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific, I believe, is the time slot you set it for. So we'll have links to download the applications across Discord and our social media to anyone that wants to hang out with us, pop some popcorn, chug some booze, and watch an awesome movie like Kong.
Or maybe a stupid movie.
Yeah, those are always good too. Stupidly awesome.
Yeah, I mean, like, because one I think would really go over well is this really shitty anime called Space Travelers: The Animation, which I swear to God, the history behind this anime sounds like it was made just because nobody wanted it to go to waste. Because it was sort of made as like an insert for a movie. And there was like a whole script written for it, and it just feels like they didn't want the hard work to go to waste, but it just reeks of like no effort.
There is an anime that I would love to track down in its original, like I think it was a Funimation dub or even earlier than that. In America, it was called Ninja the Wonder Boy. And what they did was they took episodes of an episodic cartoon, and they splice it together to make a movie out of it. And it had the worst soundtrack. It was stuck in your head for all the wrong reasons. The voice acting was atrocious, and nothing made sense because stories would just end, and then another story would begin in the middle of the movie. And when I was a kid, I was baffled, and I didn't understand until I realized, hey, wait a minute. They just chopped together, an episodic cartoon and tried to pass it off as a movie.
Wait, if you were a kid, then there's no way that's Funimation.
Well, I don't know. It was like the ancestor of Funimation. I was able to find one clip of it in the original dub on YouTube, and it's every bit as horrible as I remember it.
Kind of reminds me of Class of Bionoids.
If you were a kid, like was this the 70s, 80s?
No, it was the 80s. I was born in the 70s, but I was very young in the 70s.
It would have been.
Yeah, I'm on the tail end of Gen X. Let's put it that way.
Just like my dad is on the tail end of the baby boomers.
Right.
But yeah, if it's an 80s dub, my guesses are Harmony Gold, Urban Vision, and possibly Central Park Media.
Okay. Well, I'll verify that. I just never bothered to look it up.
Which do you think is the most likely suspect, Matt?
Did you say Streamline Media?
Oh, I forgot about them.
Huh.
Yeah. Central Park Media, though, I think is more notorious for their 90s dubs, I think.
Yeah.
Well, while we're waiting for Ginger to arrange everything, this will give me an opportunity to talk about something else briefly, and I can still segue right back over into Ginger without any problem. So, I wanted to do some shout-outs to some of the artists that we've been working with. Right now, I'd like to talk specifically about Leonore. Leonore is the one who is responsible for this gorgeous Mythoverse logo that you see everywhere up in the upper left corner and right now on the screen. She did this she did it digitally, but she did not use a tool. She freehanded it, and every last line there is done by hand. And I just love this. I can't get enough of this. We're going to be putting this logo on some merch, and she'll be getting a cut of that. So,
Lenore earned that.
Yeah, Lenore earned that, and she's got our esteem because, A, she's very talented. She's created the face of the Mythoverse with this logo, and she's just a sweet person. So I'm going to show something that she did for me recently. Okay. It's on the screen right now. What this is this is a commission that I hired her for a little while ago, and oops, looks like I've got the DM from Ginger Foxy. Okay, great. I'll get that set up.
But I see it on the screen right now.
Yep. Okay, so what this is, I have Ginger Foxy's art all ready to go. I'm just going to wrap this up. What this is these are the two protagonists of a short story series that I'm developing called My Friend Paige. It is a series of short stories set in 1983. And the two protagonists are here, the blonde punker, her name is Bethy, and the girl with the glasses in her mouth is Paige. Bethy's a very friendly, sociable young lady, but she's not the sharpest knife in the drawer, and Paige is a super genius. So what happens is Paige ends up solving problems for Bethy's friends in ridiculously comically overcomplicated ways, and usually they end up on top at the end. So it's kind of like you could call it sort of a Watson Holmes, but not exactly, because they're not solving mysteries, they're just solving personal problems, and it's kind of like a sitcom. So looking forward to that. I've got the first story pretty much done. I'm going to have a couple more of them done, and then I'm going to make an audiobook out of it and an ebook, and that'll be up on Amazon hopefully before the end of the year. And Leonore's art here is will be on the cover. So, and this is this is all freehand built up like you would build up a painting. Like she built the color up from layer upon layer.
Well, so Lenore did this traditional?
No, she did this digitally, but she didn't. There's no line work. It was all built up from the color. So it was.
I wonder what looks painted.
Yeah. So I love her style. It's very appealing. It's got a lot of character, and she really did capture the '80s in this illustration. Mm-hmm. So all the garish colors and the ridiculous hairstyles and everything. So all right, let me just get this image up here for Ginger Foxy.
Alrighty. Yeah, we're pulling it up right now. Hey, you got the feed open on your end, Ginger?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can see it then?
Yep.
Alright. Alabaster says, kind of reminds me of Hey Arnold. And thanks, Gorgonite, you put in Ginger's Twitter.
Yeah, thank you. Everything's gonna be really orange in that screenshot because I need a color like that to see the edges of like the skin layer, because otherwise it would blend with, say, a white background too much. So yeah, the work in progress is gonna look a bit weird.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, progress is progress.
All right. It is on the screen now. Well, as soon as the stream catches up, you'll be able to see it anyway.
Yeah, there's a slight delay.
Yep. It's because we're
Oh,
talking
yeah, there we go.
because we're talking on Discord, but we are actually streaming.
Yep, I
through
see it.
So anyway, this is the artwork here. As you can see, she's got them all open. So are you working on all of these images and flatting them in similar spots, like you said, conveyor belt fashion?
Yeah, pretty much. I kind of make a folder for each character and a folder of layers for like skin, hair, clothes, and so on. And so I made one on the first page, and I just duplicated it over to the rest of them. So now I'm kind of going through and finding the correct layer and filling in the corresponding spot.
Nice. That's an interesting process. And I love how on this one you can see a wide range of expressions and emotions on Maeve's face. You see her.
That's all done to Victor.
Yep.
That's
Yeah.
work.
That's all Victor's line work, but I love seeing it come together like this. It's pretty exciting.
Yeah, I know I beat this horse to death, but it hasn't stopped being true. But if people may or may not have seen Victor's coloring, it's not bad. But Ginger's coloring really adds a lot of depth to it.
Thank you.
Yeah, like the rug in The Big Lebowski, it just brings everything together. It really does, especially in those shots where we get some dramatic lighting, like the often shared image of Maeve running for her life from the monster, and the sun is to her back, so you see all the shadows and dramatic dynamic lighting.
Oh yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like I hired Ginger because like I wanted colors that were atmospheric.
Yeah. And you definitely got the right idea there. So let me quickly display Ginger's Twitter. Let's go through some of her pieces here.
But it's gonna be something stupid like cat pictures I forgot about.
No, this is I'm just going on the little media links here. So this is Adobe Kroger as a mermaid. I remember this one.
Oh yeah, I remember I remember that is a Sailor Moon gif.
Yep. I realized that. So there's the Adobe Kroger mermaid. Then over here we got the Althea, I believe, mermaid.
Yep.
Okay, and then there has to be a Maeve mermaid. And even underwater, she's got her hoodie on.
Okay, Ginger, tell me, these look like these were done with colored pencils, but were these done like that or digitally?
They were actually done with ink.
Really?
Oh, so this is all
some
traditional. Nice.
Warhammer washes, yeah. I inked these with a brush pen, and yeah.
Well, my guesses were either done with colored pencils or watercolors.
Well, watered down Warhammer paint.
So
I don't have proper watercolors.
So do you paint Warhammer minis?
Yeah, from time to time.
Nice. Do you have any pictures of those?
Somewhere.
Alright.
It tends to be other people's stuff that I paint, because
Just
I'm
not
one
on
of those
hand right
people
now.
who plan an army and just never get one.
So they're just not. So you have them. They're just not on hand right now.
That's fine. That's fine.
No, I did a lot of freehand that, annoyingly enough, I don't have pictures of right now, which it was actually Blood Angel's blood drop on a tank, like with wings, and put a lot of effort and detail into it, but I gave it away before I could take a picture.
Damn.
So, in hindsight, that wasn't a great idea.
Alabaster says actual professional watercolors would be less expensive than Citadel paints.
Possibly, but they were someone else's Citadel paints, so free to me.
I'll take it. Yeah.
Nice. Actually, do you have a lot of experience with watercolor?
No. That's one of the things. Somehow ink is just a lot more user-friendly to me.
Yeah.
I do have some of my inks, and I actually do have a couple of GW washes that I use for illustration. But usually people get me to paint their Warhammer models, and they give me the paints to use.
Cool.
Yeah, I
So-
did a couple watercolors back in high school, and it's like there is a bit of a learning curve with them, just because they're not easy to control like acrylics or acrylics.
Yeah, you kind of have to control the paint and kind of which bit you're coloring, because usually you wet that bit, and then you put the watercolor on, and so it doesn't spread from the area you're working on. But when I was a kid, I was signed up for some art classes that I didn't want to go to. And we were taught to actually wet the whole page, like a lot. Just the entire sheet was soaking, and then paint, and everything just turned out fluffy. I hated it. There was just very little control over what was going on. And it was only years down the line that I found out that there's another way you can paint with watercolors, and it can take hours of precise work. And I thought, yeah, that sounds like something I'd like to do. That sounds interesting. That's not just, paint blurry things and hope it turns out like what you're trying to draw. Or paint.
Almaster says I have a decent amount of experience, and professional watercolors use gum arabic as a medium.
That's interesting.
So yeah, definitely follow Ginger at that crafty foxy on Twitter to get a good taste of her artwork. And I was really excited to see the Changeling updates. So I hopefully we'll be able to see those more fully fleshed out soon. So, because I absolutely love how the final panels end up looking. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, is there a reason why you have that orange as a base color?
So we could see the light colors for Maeve's hair and skin. I just needed some kind of a dark but bright color, so the edges of the layers I'm working on are really visible. Because otherwise, I could end up leaving some small gaps which come out later when I start shading. And then I just end up wasting a bunch of time filling those in, so that's just a way to avoid that.
I
Is it
see.
'cause
because you can very easily see the orange if there's gaps in your lines.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice. That's very
it's
smart.
just too easy to lose. It's just way too easy to lose the detail if it's all white, is it?
Yeah. It's like you think you see the edge, but there could be a couple of pixels that are not very visible at the time you're filling it in, but there will be once you shade. So just trying to kind of save time down the line, especially with Maeve's eyeshadow. Just when I put that on, it just changes the tone around her eyes very dramatically, so if there's any artifacts there, they become visible at once. So trying to avoid things like that.
Okay, I get that. I mean, that makes sense. I mean, like, it's just if you just so you don't lose that detail. I mean, like, it's smart.
Cool. All right. Well, thank you very much for sharing this with us, Ginger. So before we come to the end of our first hour, I wanted to get in a couple more shout outs. Let me just bring this up here. Close that. Okay. I wanted to make sure everyone knew that Leonore, her Twitter is at Lost Leonore, and she also has a Twitch channel, Lost Leonore, and she also streams on YouTube simultaneously at LeonoreTube. So go check her out and follow her on Twitter and show her some love during her stream. She's delightful.
Yeah, she recently just celebrated over Sunday that I think it was Sunday, wasn't it?
Was what Sunday?
It
I'm
was-
sorry.
I'm trying to remember. She recently did a stream where Lenore did a stream recently where she celebrated making Twitch affiliate.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I think it was Sunday.
Yeah, that we're all really excited for her to reach those kinds of milestones. She's going through some rough patches, but you know, she's strong and she's hanging in there and she's working her ass off. So definitely deserves any support she can get. So follow her and hit her up on Twitch and YouTube and show her some love when she streams. You'll have a good time. So in addition to that, I wanted to once again mention we have an upcoming published author in our Discord. His name's William Hastings. And October 11th of this year, you'll be able to pick up a copy of his ebook, The Crimson Spark, which is about a boy and a girl and a whole bunch of bad stuff. So go check it out on Amazon. Search for The Crimson Spark, and you can pre-order it onto your Kindle. I've already done so, and it'll be downloaded to my Kindle, which I've called Molly for obvious reasons, as soon as it's available. So definitely go check this out and support an independent creator. So one more thing. Matt Reese, who's a good friend of the Mythoverse, and has just announced that his webcomic Forces of Good and Evil will be updating. It's over at forcesofgoodandevil.net, and they also have a Patreon called ideal_comics. So go there and check out the work, and if you like what you see, consider dropping something in his tip jar. He's a cool guy, and we love him. So before we go over into our second hour, where I just sort of kick back and chill with a game, I wanted to discuss our own project updates. And from where I sit, the progress on Adobe Kroger is continuing apace. Leandro is getting ready to turn in pages 16 through 20. So he's reaching the home stretch. It'll be done really soon, hopefully within the next couple of weeks. And then I'll be able to get it lettered. One thing that I've been kind of reticent to do is to show the new pages because I don't want to spoil them. But as the pages get completed, I've been sort of trickling out memeable panels. Let me give an example of one here.
Damn it! I just remembered. Victor sent me a memeable panel last night.
Well, this panel was memeable thanks to Leonore. She posted something that was eerily similar to one of my panels, so I absolutely had to go ahead and match them up. So it looks like the stream is lagging a little bit, but you'll see it momentarily. There we go. So she was having a rough Monday, and I said, that looks strikingly similar to this panel Leandro just turned in, so I did a same energy meme on that. So, and she thought that was hilarious. So yeah, like Brett said, if we ever need a meme, we can always count on Leonore. So I'm going to take this expression and turn it into a Discord emoji.
Well, it's either like... Well, we have one of three ladies we can count on for memes. Denise, and Vamp.
Well, yeah, we have that three-headed dragon meme that we
The
can
Ghidorah
throw in.
meme.
Yeah. Yeah, it's Ghidorah where Leonore was the derp head. Yeah.
Yeah, Lenore was Kevin. I'm not kidding. No, I'm not making that up. The production team, they jokingly call that head Kevin.
Nice. Hilarious. Real quick here. Oops. We turned... What's that?
I'm just mad. I'm just kind of mad at myself because I meant to tweet that panel out this morning and tell people to caption it, but better late than never.
Oh yeah, the one where Maeve is pouring her cereal.
Yeah, Dylan had a funny one. And he goes, "Man, Brett has the big gay."
You seem to get memed that way an awful lot, Brett. Anyway. So I'm going to put up a panel here that Matt shared with us, and this is just absolutely adorable. This is something that that Beth turned in recently for Mythics. And it's another. Gorgonite says, "Where's the lie?" The fact is, there isn't one, so that's why it's funny. So this image here is just another little baby changeling with a stuffed animal, and I think it was Matt that was saying, "Hey, if we keep this up, they're gonna think all changelings are adorable and precious." Yeah.
Well,
Where's
some of them
lie?
are.
Yeah, there is no lie. There is no lie. So, Matt, real quick, do you want to talk about, without spoiling too much, what's happening in this scene where we see this precious little changeling with the stuffed animal?
Basically, Althea just saved this changeling, and they had gone to the store to get her clothes and diapers and toys.
So she's all snugged and buttoned up and happy.
Yep, and brand
That
new
looks-
stuff.
So at this
That's-
point, has Althea had any experience with children?
No.
Oh, wow. She's in for a treat, isn't she?
Does anyone else think the stuffed animal looks like Piglet?
It does kind of look like Piglet, yeah. I mean, why couldn't it be Piglet?
Well,
Copyright.
there is, yeah, the copyright. But, we're gonna call him something else. We're gonna call him something else.
It has to be, what,
Obviously.
at least 25% different? I don't know what the actual percentage is, but...
It looks enough like Piglet that you can kind of tell that's what Beth was going for, but it's not. It's not an outright copy of the design. Or does anyone know if the Winnie the Pooh characters are in the public domain or not?
I don't believe so, because,
It's like 90 years, isn't it? Or something like that?
yeah, but Disney has control.
Oh, well, they have a
I
control of a version of it. But
Okay.
Well, the way I understand how copyright works is the reason why this was a theory I kept seeing floated around behind all the Disney remakes. Because if they don't make movies for those properties, they lose the copyright.
That is true. That is what happens if they don't use it. It's probably one of the reasons why Christopher Tolkien has been releasing all these Miller books to prevent the copyright from lapsing.
so he's pulling a Fantastic Four on us, basically. Just putting out like a shitty version of something just so he maintains the rights.
Well, it's not so much he maintains the rights, but because he doesn't want his father's legacy to go to waste.
Of course not. Gorgonite says, takes note to make a horrific, abominable changeling character. Well, that would be a combo breaker.
Trust me,
Xenoblade already got that.
Trust me, there are changelings that they're not. There are changelings who got whacked with the ugly stick.
But
It all depends on which fate they're descended from.
Yeah, it's not Maeve, and
Well,
it's
you
not
got
this one.
you got Xeno on your monster team, so if you wanted a terrific changeling, I'm sure he could sort you out.
I might
Well-
ask him to do a red cap then, because
Mm.
Maeve. If you don't know what a red cap is, it's kind of like a goblin or a troll. They like to eat people.
Hmm.
I kind of
Well-
imagine they got like sharp teeth and really leathery skin, and they always have red hair.
Can I just say that there is that abominable Maeve fan art?
That's been lost. That's been lost to the ether unless he saved it.
Yeah,
He probably saved it.
Well,
No,
he kind of has it on paper.
So
Lost
even
in
though-
the ether.
I thought, well, it would have been lost to the ether because he posted it in the old. Well, no, wait, he didn't post it in the old Changeling Discord that I shut down.
So it's on
Don't-
Twitter then.
Yeah, it's still on Twitter, but you'd have to dig for it.
Mhm.
All right, I'm going to bring up the panel that we were discussing. And I'm going to put this other changeling side by side. And let me know if you think that's too much cute for one screen.
You're gonna pull up Maeve.
Yeah, I've got Maeve pouring the cereal. And I've got the precious little baby with the not piglet next to each other.
Well, that's honestly, if you really wanted to really, really overload the cute, you just show that Mythochibis bit that Antonella turned on.
Yes, the Mythochibis. I'm absolutely in love with that strip because she takes like these very basic ideas and injects them with so much appeal and character. Just like the expressions that she gives and the little like anime symbols that she uses, they're both hilarious and adorable.
I'll send it to you because I use it as my profile pic now.
Yeah, let me go ahead and just bring up Mythochibis while we're on that.
Okay, I'll DM it to you right now. Oh, that. Okay, here we go. Yeah, I just sent it to you.
All right. Yep, that's the strip I have up right now. Yeah, this is the one. This is the latest one. The one for tomorrow is up on our Patreon. So if you are supporting us, it's only $1 a month, folks. And you've already read the next comic, which is a good one. But this one here has, it has a cuteness overload there, and she happens to be holding an Easter egg. I mean, not an Easter egg, but it's a unicorn that is not wearing a tactical onesie at all. And it's not a reference to it's not a reference to something that we like. But yeah, there's.
I think
Go ahead.
I think what's funniest about this strip is like, okay, first a couple things. Maeve's face in that one panel where she's holding the doll.
Mm-hmm.
I asked Antonella if that was intentionally supposed to look like the face she had when she was absorbing everything from the violent video game she was playing with Adobe in the previous one.
It would be thematically
She said, yeah,
appropriate. I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah, she said she said yes, that was the idea.
Beautiful. Yeah, she's got really strong instincts, and she's got the ability to make drawings fun to look at. Like
and the next thing is, what I really love is that in the next panel, right as Adobe's right behind Althea, whispering, "This crap will rot her brain," and you can see on Althea's face, "Oh God, what if she's right?"
Oh, come on, Althea would never think that Adobe's right about anything.
Yeah, were you crazy?
And that's why she has to answer her question, and that's why she has to answer her with, "How can it rot her brain if it's educational?"
Yeah.
And of course, Adobe's going to say, "Television doesn't teach anything useful."
Well, useful by what standard? That's the question. Anyway, so that's why.
We actually had a couple people weigh in on that.
Okay.
Star storyteller Claire came in and said Adobe's not wrong, which I of course said back to her. She's one to talk, considering what happened in the last panel. And then Denise came in and said, "TV taught me a lot." Denise, by her own admission, says she was raised on TV.
So I brought
that
up
explains a lot.
I brought up the previous strip so you can see what we were talking about. So in the previous strip, if you haven't read it, Adobe is playing Grand Theft Auto, and Maeve says, "Hey, can I see what that is? Can I spend some time with you?" And they have their first bonding moment, which is precious, but it's also kind of tainted by the fact that she's watching people get blown to pieces with automatic weapons. And you see, if you zoom in on her eyes, you see blood, death, kill. I almost expect her to have that mantra going through her brain from Demolition Man: murder, death, kill, murder, death, kill. Oh, man. All right, so Gorgonite says, "I mean, television has the History Channel, and you know that's 100% factual. Now, excuse me while I search for alien artifacts in Egypt." Look, I'm not going to say it was aliens, but it was aliens. Oh, God.
I've heard a thing about that temple bit recently. You know that I think they tend to like bringing up on conspiracy theories the Temple of Seti, that those hieroglyphics that look like a helicopter. Well, I actually heard why they looked that way.
Oh, really?
Because there was actually 2 layers of hieroglyphics, and one of them got washed away, and So 2 layers combined, and you got the thing that looked like a helicopter.
Yeah,
Hey.
we have Cody in the chat.
Hey,
Hey,
Cody.
Cody.
Good to see
Hello.
you as always. Did you get a chance to see yourself, Cody, or Jack Irons, I should say, on the Wicked cover?
He just hopped in now. He just hopped in now, so I think he missed it.
Ah, okay. Well, let me go ahead and see if I can find that for him. I'm sure he's already seen it on
Yeah.
Twitter, but
Can we see the archive? Yes, Alabaster History Channel used to be good before it be. Oh, he did. He has seen it.
yep. I'll just bring it up again because Cody's here. There's Mr. Jack Irons there, and he's front and center, and he's got the smoke wisping all the way around and through Adobe. I'm sure she's getting a contact high.
I have to ask: is that supposed to be a cigarette, a cigar, or something else, Cody? And I'll say this up front, by the way, I miss it when comics allowed characters to smoke. Like, ever since Joe Quesada took over, Wolverine has not been able to smoke for, like, over a decade. I'm sorry. It's like, there is something very macho about the image of Logan smoking a stogie.
Yeah, I agree, Cody. The coloring is good. That is Ian, Leandro Panganiban's friend. Leandro is the penciler for Adobe Kroger. So, very fortunately, Wicked needed a colorist at the same time Ian needed to work. And that's kind of how I found my letterer. Basically, he just said, does anyone need a letterer? And I said, I do. And he said, cool. So there you go. So this came out great. I love how it has just about every main character, even of the upcoming properties. You got Wrath there, that's pretty neat. And even McKinnon Chronicles up there in the corner. So Matt, I know I know we don't have anything keeping us busy these days. But
no, not at all.
No, not at all. We have all the free time in the world. But what is the status of the McKinnon Chronicles?
Well, right now it's dormant until
It's in limbo, basically.
until we get the first run of Mythics done and get some kind of revenue going, so that I don't have to. Well, there's a problem with this whole thing called money.
What? I don't know what you're talking about. What is that?
Well, of course, you wouldn't know what that's like, Dan. Unlike Matt, you have a real job.
Yeah, I'm only busting your chops, man. I understand. I really like the previews I saw, the few pages that were able to be completed, and I like the story. I like that it's sort of a Horatio Hornblower type story in space. I like that. All right. Well, we're coming up on the end of the first hour, and that means it's time for me to kick back and pop open a game, and then we can all just talk about whatever we want without me getting in the way. Let me see. Jack Irons and Hills. It's high noon. God. It's funny when that became a thing. I took my son and a couple of his friends to play some laser tag, and they started chanting that in the arena, and they got the entire arena saying it over and over and over again. And they were so proud of themselves that they said, "We made that a thing." That was awesome. Oh God! But must have heard them say that at least 25 times within the first couple of matches. I was like, "Shut up! Can't be high noon all the time."
That made you hate Overwatch, didn't it?
At least that aspect of it. All right, so tonight I am going to play a non-obtrusive, non-distracting game, really simple one, so I can sort of still pay attention to what's going on. I'm gonna play World of Warships. All right, has anyone ever played that?
Nope.
Okay, well, it's one of those MOBAs that are pretty simple and straightforward. Each match is only a couple minutes long, and you can just play them or not.
And if you play your cards right, they might sponsor your channel.
Yeah, there you go. So that's not at all why I'm doing this. Yeah, there's There's this channel that I watch that does all these hypothetical battles, and he's sponsored by World of Warship, so he spends like 10 minutes plugging at the beginning of each video. But
I think about 3 channels that I watch are sponsored by that and World of Tanks.
Yeah, I got pretty far in World of Tanks. I made it almost all the way up the American tech tree. And then I realized every time I got into a battle, I literally had to spend real money to keep my tank operational because it was so expensive. Like the ammo itself was like 1,000 credits a shot. I was like, oh my god. All right, so I'm just gonna go ahead and suck at this game while you guys discuss things that are of interest to you.
Gorgonite says Blizzard still wins because money. Cody says, shh, my hopes and dreams and faith in the system. How dare you bring up facts? Albaster says Warships is not really a MOBA. War Thunder is better.
Yeah, it's not really a MOBA, but that's just shorthand for like a multiplayer game where you're all in like, well, an arena and you're fighting each other. It's shorthand. I know it's not technically correct, but...
Yeah. Oh, we actually got a couple captains. Salem says crack cubes. They weren't kidding that every box has a prize inside.
I haven't tried War Thunder Alabaster, so I'm a pretty casual player of these kind of games.
Crushes Cody's hopes and dreams like the red scorpion I am. Oh, they're talking about Fallout 76, I think. Chris Stiver says, so Mom, I've decided to accept that scholarship to the Jonathan Wick University.
I
think next time Victor designs Maeve cereal, it better be based off that pony one I saw at Walmart the other day.
You saw, was it a brand, store brand pony cereal?
I think it's a Kellogg's brand, actually.
Yeah.
Actually, it's not pony, it's unicorn.
Yeah, the Kellogg's Fruity Loops thing. As you know, and I tried it for the unicorn video we started making before I started coloring all the stuff. So that will be out, I think, when our boxes are out.
Okay, so on a scale of 1 to diabetes, how sickly sweet is it?
Well, it's not really sickly sweet. That's surprising.
Really?
It's kind of chemically, but yeah, it has a good texture. That's what I can say about it.
I would have thought, like, I don't know, the way that cereal looked like they were trying to market it to girls, and it's like, okay, we have a unicorn. It looks cutesy and shit. Like, we should just load this thing with sugar.
Well, maybe they considered that girls are usually on a diet.
I don't know. Well, it looks like it's marketed to little girls.
Well, it's I guess it is, but it's pretty much just Fruity Loops. The flavor isn't great, the texture's pretty good.
So it's just Fruit Loops with a unicorn on it?
Yeah. And the unicorn on the back of the box. I have a theory that they bought the unicorn on the front, which is pretty much just a head, on some kind of a stock site, but then they decided they wanted a coloring page on the back. And so they kind of hired someone on Fiverr or whatever to draw the rest of that unicorn's body, because the artwork doesn't match all that well. I mean, it matches enough, but like something is off.
Actually, I think I put this on. There were at least 3 things like that were unicorn themed that I came across that I put on Maeve's Twitter.
Yeah.
One was a Bang energy drink, and the flavor was called something unicorn. I have. It's still there. See if I can. I'll have to dig a little bit, but I know it's there.
Yeah.
Blah 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 blah.
Well, we had a bunch of different unicorn stuff and unicorn gin to wash it down with.
I do know I found a unicorn themed pudding.
Hmm.
My daughter would love that. She's obsessed with unicorns.
It even comes with temporary tattoos, I think.
Sold. She loves those even more.
Well, before launching that video, we wanted to do like a quick survey as well of generally what people thought of unicorns, and we have like box of unicorn goodies that we could give to a participant, like randomly selected. So, you know, when that's actually out, have a chance of winning that. Some unicorn snacks and unicorn stationery in that. And hopefully that whole survey will be up before those unicorn snacks are past their best before. Well, it's kind of like stuff similar to cookies, so it should be fine. So. Kind of just. I wish Zeno was a bit more active in these things, that I wouldn't have to literally drag him into every project we do.
And Alabaster just joined the panel.
Hey, Alabaster.
Hey, Alabaster.
The way I found out what that flavor of Bang was called, it's called Rainbow Unicorn.
Hmm.
Apt enough.
Yep. So yeah, she's posted pics of that unicorn cereal, unicorn pudding, and a unicorn themed energy drink.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think like she has a free unicorn. I mean, honestly, I think the only reason why now, why I kind of wrote it into my character that she likes stuff like, which is basically a My Little Pony knockoff, is I think that's Ginger's handiwork.
Well, don't give me all the credit.
It's appropriate for a girl her age to like that stuff.
Hmm.
I don't know. I kind of feel like you added that in a little bit because that wasn't on, because I didn't think of that. And like I didn't think to put that in until we started talking and bouncing ideas between each other.
Oh yeah.
Neostar just joined us. Sorry, I didn't realize you guys were streaming. Don't worry about it. Glad you're here.
Yeah. I mean, like at that point, like the only thing that I could think of were cat.
Yeah, I remember that.
What, did I stop talking or something?
What?
Did who stop talking?
Nothing. Everything just got weird for a moment. Yeah. Also, now I was gonna say.
Go.
What, Matt?
Go on. Oh, go on.
I was about the only thing I was gonna say that, because I don't think Ginger knows this yet, but Maeve also recently got into the Vanicula cartoon.
I think I saw the tweet about it, but I don't know what that cartoon is. And is it in fact an anime?
It's a cartoon.
Okay.
So it's based on a series of children's books about a vampire rabbit that eats vegetable juice.
I wasn't aware of that. Interesting.
Do they know it's a vampire?
Well, what I found out was the books, we're not clear on that one way or another. But in the cartoon, it's kind of like it's pretty obvious that Bunnicula is a vampire.
What am I missing here? Satan has Adobe on speed dial. I hung up on him? What the hell? I'm just trying to blow ships up, and all of a sudden Adobe is on Satan's speed dial.
Well, you did say see
Neostar
we have some connections.
Yeah, they're...
Neostar said
Hey, well, not
Bunnicula. Neostar says the Bunnicula cartoon wasn't too bad from what I've seen, and it's not. It's a little.
How recent is it?
Let me look it up.
Pulling that up right now.
I think it's still airing new episodes.
Actually, not. I'm not really sure about that because I went digging. It started airing in 2016. It has 3 seasons, but here's where it gets weird. May 23rd, 2018, Warner Brothers announced that the 3rd season of Bunnicula would premiere on the Boomerang streaming service in 2019. However, every episode from that season first premiered on the Boomerang network, airing from December 1st, 2018 to December 30th, 2018. After this, Bunnicula continued airing reruns on Boomerang until April 28th, 2019, when the series was completely removed from the network's lineup. But I can't find anything to suggest whether or not it was canceled.
That's really weird.
Especially when what's really weird about this is because I saw the last episode and it did not seem like it was ending.
Yeah, that happens to shows though.
And yes, Chris Kattan is in this. He plays Bunnicula.
From the description, it sounded like something from the 80s, like The Catch of Vampires or something like that.
Let me take a look at the book series.
Yep, it was in the 80s.
Yeah, actually, the first book was published in 1979.
That makes sense.
There's about 7 books in the series. And even the book series Wikipedia page says that the cartoon is a loose adaptation. Yeah,
Which kind of explains why in the book series it's ambiguous whether or not Bunnicula is a vampire, whereas in the cartoon it's like it's obvious. Like he even has a little coffin he sleeps in.
Well, of course.
Yeah, but he only feeds off vegetables.
Reminds me of Count Duckula, where he was a vegetarian vampire duck.
Really?
Yeah, that just seems very retro. Someone trying to have a vampire character who's also very kid-friendly.
Hey, there's Cody.
Hey,
Hello.
hey Cody. Silence.
This has vamp handiwork all over it.
Is that ship what I think it is?
Is what ship what you think it is?
The one you're firing at.
Looks like it's
What
out
do you
North
think it
Carolina. But I blew it up. Yeah, it's a North Carolina battleship is what it is.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. Alright. I am the winner.
But yeah. What was it? I started watching it and I'm just thinking to myself, well, if Maeve's gonna look for something to fill the void that My Little Pony left now that it's ending, this would probably be it.
Well, they're starting off Gen 5 with a movie.
Yeah.
What's Gen 5 gonna be all about? Because I've seen some leaked artwork from way back, and it just seemed like a very, very bad idea because they were making them more detailed and more horse-like. And
Yeah, from a
more
pure
girly.
design perspective, it looked good, but animation is you're gonna be making these frames over and over, even with something like Toon Boom. So making it more complex character design.
I didn't think those
that's not really a
designs
good
were
idea.
great, actually, because I mean, there were
There
good
were several
designs for
series of
toys, but To me, those designs looked like something from like a good character generator from like for Affinity or something, where you can make a bunch of these sort of sparkly horses that are still, horse-like enough to be fancy artwork. And yeah, I didn't like the direction they're going in. It seemed like a lot of the personalities would be, I don't know. Like, I don't see Rainbow Dash being very glamorous, for example. And kind of her
Rainbow
just
Dash
being a
and all
pretty
dressing
horse
up.
instead of Daredevil, that's just, I don't know.
What
That's
exactly are
very
you?
strange.
What exactly are you implying, Gorgonite, with those brackets?
I was curious too. What is he implying?
Oh, I get it. It rhymes with do.
Yeah, I get it. It's just funny. This guy always gets it.
I don't. I don't get it. It's just to make me look like I understand. I don't.
It's like what Mitch Hedberg said when he told a joke. You guys know what I'm saying? I don't.
Yep. Never do. Never do.
Yeah, if we can count on anybody to cause chaos in chat, it's either Gorgonite, Xeno, or Gokai.
It's because of Gorgonite that we just might end up having licensed Mythoverse
Yeah, you tried
dildos.
to have them all on one show at one point, didn't you?
I think we did. Well, I think we tried. I think we only got Xeno, and Gokai.
Mm.
Nothing, Dan. Nothing at all. Shuts everything down. It's all right, man. I won't turn you in. All right.
I think I might just start have Maeve tweet about Powerpuff Girls. That just seems like something like.
Yeah.
Shut
I
it
never saw the
down.
movie, and I meant to.
Actually, it would even be kind of interesting to see her sort of exchange thoughts on a certain episode with Adobe, because even Adobe admitted she liked it when she was a kid.
Powerpuff Girls? Yeah.
It was a good
Absolutely.
show.
Buttercup was her jam. That was her lady.
Well, obviously, if there's if any of the three Adobe was gonna identify with, it was gonna be Buttercup.
Absolutely. Yeah. Buttercup all the way.
I identify with the mayor.
Why do you identify with the
He's
mayor?
a pimp. He doesn't need anything going on. He's got somebody to call to solve all his problems. He's got a hot secretary. He's set. Freaking Tom Kenny. You can't do any better.
Fair point, man. Fair point.
They
I
did
concede it.
Sarah Bellum wrong by not including her in the later seasons. She was just too sexy to show on.
Too sexy, man. I know the problem. I know the problem.
Is too
Having to
sexy.
hide yourself, and wearing a burqa all around. You got to do it sometimes, though. people just freak out, and then they're passing out in the streets. It causes hazards. You got to keep others safe. Others first.
I will say though that Maeve definitely can say she identifies with Bubbles.
See, Bubbles is my favorite one.
Although I don't think Maeve is as much of a space case as Bubbles.
I still remember that episode where she decided to be hardcore.
Oh yeah.
Oh, and then there was the one where she had to wear glasses.
Ooh, I took a torpedo right up the...
Yeah.
Shoot.
Actually,
Ha
Matt, in your opinion, is Althea old enough that she would have been in the target demographic for Powerpuff Girls when it was airing?
What year did Aaron?
1998, I think.
I think she's about 10 years old. So, I'd say so.
Wait a minute. Okay, it aired in that. Okay, when was Adobe?
I remember there was a pilot that aired like a year before then, though, and then it kind of disappeared for a while. And
Yeah.
then
Adobe was
Green
born
Light
February 23rd, 1991.
90. Do you say 90?
91.
So she would have been 7 years old when it came on.
Yep.
That's
She
like
watched-
the perfect age range.
She watched the hell out of it.
Yeah. So both Althea and Adobe were in its demographic.
Here, this is what we're talking about. Gorgonite. Get your blessed dildo hammers now while supplies still last. Or now you'll get 50% off the shiny new consecrated Banjo Warhammer. Yeah, we might end up actually having to sell consecrated dildos now. Gets everyone excited about them.
Not... Okay, Powerpuff Girls was not Gendy Tartakovsky. That was Craig McCracken.
I thought he was consultant though, or something with it. I thought, but no, you're right. It was definitely Craig McCracken.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I thought
then,
there was some involvement, but I could very well be wrong.
They were friends, I think. I mean, they worked in the same studio.
Yeah, and exactly, and yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if there was some translation, some takeaway for sure.
Yeah.
And Lauren Faust was one of the writers for it, and then of course she went on to create Friendship is Magic.
And that's actually how Adobe got. It's canonical that was how Adobe got Maeve into Powerpuff Girls by telling her that Lauren Faust worked on it.
Nice.
I mean,
Just as a
she's
warning,
like, wait, the lady who made my favorite cartoon of all time worked on this? I have to watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that got blown to hell.
No, actually, what's... okay, Ginger, how good would you say you are at imitating other cartoon styles?
Depends on the style. Overall, kind of decent.
Okay, so let's just say we asked you to do the Mythoverse girls as Powerpuff Girls.
Yeah, I can do that.
I mean, they have a very simple design. It's like...
It's deceptively complicated, especially when it comes to 3D. One of my tutors said that the hardest thing he ever had to model was a Powerpuff Girl.
Really?
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, you need to... okay, how... I mean, it looks so simple a small child could draw it. Like,
A
Dan's
small child could draw it off model.
You need to,
No, let me put it this way. It looks simple enough that Dan's 8-year-old daughter could probably draw it from memory.
you can, but making a 3D rendition that doesn't look creepy as all hell, that's the issue.
Gorgonite says, I still believe
She's
Adobe
not,
identified with Bubbles. I guess it depends what time of day you catch her on.
Okay, so Ginger, you were saying...
No, I'm just saying, like, their heads, like, what kind of an oval is it exactly? Then their eyes, also the exact shape.
Yeah, they
the
are a lot
height,
of
thickness.
straight shapes. No, that's very true. A lot of very rounded, very specific, and so you got to rotate and position those. I'm not much of an artist.
Yeah,
but,
exactly.
I could see that being a pain in the ass. I could.
Yeah.
They got the anime eyes. That helps a little bit, but not much. It might make it more difficult, in fact.
Yeah, also their eyes, they're not round. They're kind of squished a bit, and that exact type of squish, if you can get it right.
Wow.
Then-
So an animator actually said that was actually one of the hardest things he ever had to work on.
Not an animator, a 3D modeler.
Really?
He was working on the video game for the Cartoon Network Racing or something like that.
Okay.
Plus, you got to play with a lot of squash and stretch in order to have their, like, if you're doing like an upward punch, well, their head's in the way, so you got to kind of do a few tricks in order to get that to work.
Yeah, I would think it'd be kind of like modeling the South Park guys 3D. It's a pain in the ass and hard as hell to make look good and right.
Yeah.
Takes a lot of artistry.
Yeah, but that's why the South Park games went for 2D.
They didn't always go for 2D.
Oh, back in
I
the
played
day.
2 or 3 of them with on the
Back in the
N64.
Oh,
Not
yeah.
so
I know.
much.
Yeah, I
Not
know.
so much. They went
Yeah.
first person.
Yeah, I remember that game. Yeah,
A
where
couple of South Park games they actually tried for 3D, but when they did Stick of Truth, like I think because Trey and Matt were so heavily involved in that, when he said like, we want this to look like the show, so it has to be done in 2D.
and it really does
Yeah.
look exactly like the show.
No, they did an incredible job with both those games.
Mhm.
Honestly, I love the hell out of them. I've beaten both of them 2 or 3 times. It's so very entertaining, good writing. It's quick to get through, and the gameplay is engaging enough, and without being crazy tough like a lot of JRPGs end up being.
Yeah, they did something remarkable with those games. They created both an engaging RPG while also lampooning every RPG you've ever played.
Yep.
The game design was so... Obsidian was definitely the right choice for that.
Yeah.
Speaking of Obsidian, is anyone looking forward to the Outer Worlds?
Fucking epic,
That's
man.
a big maybe.
Fucking epic, man. But no, I was as soon as I heard it. They're like, fuck Bethesda. They're fucking up Fallout. We're gonna do our own thing in space, and it's got this Western overtone to it. So of course I'm excited. But fucking epic, man.
Well, because
Nice.
well, I don't think it's on Epic Store. On the Epic Store,
Oh, it better not be.
exclusive, because I can play it for free on the Xbox Game Pass.
Oh, okay, good. Okay, maybe I have that confused. I know there was another one that has a similar name that was for sure an Epic Store exclusive, and I know those guys. They're really trying to undercut Steam, and they're not doing it the right way.
Well, they're not just trying to undercut Steam. Do 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 do.
You racist.
I said nothing.
I'm Asian. I allow it.
Okay, we got the Asian pass.
Which version of Asian are you? That's the question. Okay.
Well,
Is it
Vietnamese.
Taekwondo or is it Kung Fu? Or is it...
Well, Vietnamese, and we don't take kindly to the Chinese.
Well, there you go. So no, you don't get a pass.
There was a story recently. This happened like last year, where the Vietnamese government was asking for some mild as China is starting to become more expansionist. Vietnam was asking, "Hey, U.S., do you think maybe you could, maybe send a few?" No.
Remember the last time we were in Vietnam?
Yeah.
Oh my god, you're awful.
Everybody head for cover. I hear Wagner.
Yeah,
Hey.
that's a tough one. Vietnam certainly has a great strategic location, but you don't really want to stick your dick in there. It's gonna get eaten by wasps. It's just always how it goes. Always, no matter who goes
beat
into
the
there.
Mongols.
I'll just say there are two classic blunders in this world. First, don't get involved in a land war in Asia.
The Chinese did all right. I mean, the Japanese did all right. Just until somebody else got involved.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still wouldn't do it because it's an awful thing. They make you fight like hell for it.
Arguably, when Pearl Harbor didn't completely destroy the U.S. Pacific Fleet, it was really just kind of a matter of time. The entire plan was to knock the Pacific Fleet out so that then they could bring us to the negotiating table for the sake of brevity and everybody just kind of, being able to move on from it.
Nope.
But they didn't.
Not
manage
America,
to take
man.
Everything. Yeah, no.
All it did was to piss us off.
Yeah, but no, if they had been able to knock out all the ships and we wouldn't have been able to mobilize our air fleet was the big thing. We ended up kicking the fuck out of them in the skies, and that allowed our troops to land and allowed our invasions to work out, and a lot of blood.
And ironically, the guy who planned the attack was actually rather fond of America. He'd studied here for a while, and he's like, "Can we find a way to do literally anything but this?" And the Imperial Navy said, "No."
I believe didn't he basically say we're fucked after commencing the attack?
There's a lot. There's like two major quotes.
He said, "We have awakened a sleeping giant,"
and that was never confirmed that he said that, but it's something he probably would have.
Although,
But Gorgonite says you can quote me on the it's a great strategic location, but you don't want to stick your dick in there. I think that applies.
although I don't think anyone had made a worse blunder in World War II than when Hitler decided to invade Russia in the middle of winter.
It's worked before,
Oh,
but for people who
For
actually had
Napoleon.
proper planning.
Russia. The problem is that they're willing to burn everything to the fucking ground before they let you take any of it, and that's
much.
never gonna work. As long as you're trying to evade everything and they're willing to burn it all to the ground, you no longer have supply lines. You make no gains, and eventually you'll die to their winter. It's just not.
That's the
I
thing,
can't see a way to do it. Robots. That's about it.
No,
There was
no, no,
one
no,
time
no.
in history, I think, when it
Not
worked,
true.
and they brought their own supply lines, and they had like special horseshoes or something.
Oh.
Yeah, the
Well, there
only
you
people
go.
who've ever successfully invaded Russia in the winter were the Mongols.
Yeah. Well, they're crazy.
Horse archers OP, please nerf.
Yeah. So the two big blunders are don't get involved in a land war in Asia, and don't invade Russia in the middle of winter.
I would say even during the summer they make it very difficult, but
spring.
it wouldn't be something I want to do. I would prefer us to all shake hands and hug.
The spring's even worse with the mud. Forget about it.
Actually, what is Russia like the rest of the year, Ginger?
What do you mean the rest of the year?
It
Like
really
not in
depends on where you
winter?
are.
Yeah,
Summer, spring, fall.
that's. I mean, it's pretty big. So, like, it's not winter all the time, obviously, and the summers can get pretty hot even in Siberian regions. So it's mostly continental climates, so really cold winters, really hot summers.
How about spring and autumn?
A transition between the two. Early autumn is alright. Late autumn is depressing and windy and horrible and rainy. Also, spring, like half the spring is just an extension of winter, and then all the snow starts to melt and there's dog poo everywhere. And then a small chunk of spring is really nice.
Man, it just doesn't sound like Russia's nice like any time of the year.
Well, you know, depends on where you go. But
Petrograd
pretty
always looks
much.
nice. I refuse to call it St. Petersburg.
Yeah, that does look really nice. I've never actually been to St. Petersburg, which
If I
is
ever
what
went
you
to
refuse
Russia,
to call
and
it.
I only got to go to one place, it would be there.
I'd say that's a wise choice. I've been to Moscow. Well, I've been there before they redesigned it, when it didn't look quite as nice as it does now, and I didn't like it then.
Wait, are we talking about the St. Basil's Cathedral?
There's cathedrals on every street. They just keep building and building and building. They build like 200 more each year or something, and people really hate it because
Reminds
it
me of
seems like an
home here
excuse
in
for money
Texas.
laundering. It just seems as if someone playing a strategy game and, like, I don't know, building a church gives them more resources somehow, and so they just keep putting all of the stuff they get into more churches for a bigger boost of something.
I would say fanaticism and being contempt in your place. That's a hell of a thing.
Out in the States, like they actually will. If you like run a church or a synagogue or a mosque or like any other kind of religious institution, you can run it tax free.
Is
it like that in Russia?
Probably. I don't know. All I know is that the guy in charge of their section of the church is very, very well off financially, which is what pisses off your average citizens. That's kind of a portion of the country that just doesn't quite understand what's going on and how these people are getting away with all of these things. And there's a portion that's buying into it all and thinks it's whatever's happening is good. Because Mr. President is a very wise man. And, you know.
Wait. I think I may or may not know who you're talking about. Is this guy tight with Putin?
Yeah, of course. They're like, they're very close friends, but yeah.
At least he's got his ear.
From what I recall, and me being but an ignorant Westerner, the Russian Orthodox Church has very close ties with the government.
Yeah, and a lot of money.
Yep, churches rack in that money 100% tax-free, and they're able to distribute and pay for whatever the hell they want to.
And they can put people in jail for reposting things online.
Oh
Yay.
my god! Yeah, freaking.
The EU must want that power.
Oh, Germany is looking at it with a very thirsty brow, very thirsty mouth, drool slipping down it.
Is it anything like how they look at Poland?
Well, no, Poland they're looking at with a glare. Poland's like, yeah, no, we're not going to do that. Oh, yeah? Remember what happened last time when you weren't agreeing with us?
And the Poles are badass.
Hey, remember what Germany was doing during that time, too?
Hell of a thing.
Yep.
On that.
Gorgonite mentioned the Mongolians are slowly becoming the White Scars, and he's okay with that. And I am also a-okay with that.
Yeah, I mean,
the Great Khan's glory shall reign throughout the galaxy.
Yeah, the White Scars are based on the Mongols anyway, aren't they?
Absolutely, and they rode through the Emperor's palace, slaughtering heretics to save it. I'm very proud of the White Scars. I never played them. I'm a Space Wolf guy, but the White Scars also have they have my respect because of that. It's a hell of a. They're a motorcycle culture, so right there they get my bit. They're iron horses.
Don't they have their own don't they have their own version of that troop airlift one where they're like, this isn't fast enough. It needs to be fast.
Pretty much, the White Scars are all about going as fast as possible.
Yes.
And they don't believe
you
in
put
just
them
painting
against
it red,
some.
like the orcs.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. That you put them against some red boys, and it'd be a hell of a thing. Be a hell of a bike battle.
Them and some Dark Eldar.
Yeah, but they just want to rape and kill. So we're gonna flay you while we're raping you. Don't worry about it. It'll be fine. Dark Eldar, no bueno.
Yeah, the Dark Eldar are just like, it's like someone wanted to take Dark Elves and merge them with Hellraiser.
That's what it is, 100%. It's all about pain bringing pleasure, 100%. And man, I actually wanted to play Dark Eldar because of the maneuverability and the speed, but I never ended up collecting them. Never got to that. But I find that bit fun. But how they actually keep up with everybody else with genetic mutations and all of that shit, it's not as good as other races. So.
Yeah,
Didn't
as
sell
soon as
me.
those Plastic Sisters drop, my money is gone.
Right?
I told myself I will never get into 40K unless they release Plastic Sisters, and then they were like, "Hey, we're making these things." And
they better, god damn it!
they released
Sisters
some,
of Battles,
examples.
the Adeptus Sororitas have been fucking stuck in the background for so long, and they're such a important part of the lore, and they're such a very powerful statement. I love 40K because of that lore and because of the very powerful statements they make against adversity, because humanity is literally facing the worst adversity ever. I try to integrate that with what I do in my work, but it's a hell of a thing to see those warrior nuns. There's a very specific one, a piece I remember somebody drew and colored. So it was a complete piece that somebody did that was an Adeptus Sororitas holding the Space Wolf while he dies. That bit is the it's the care and the love during this horrific, the worst possibilities, and that still survives. That care and that division between man and woman doesn't exist.
Oh yeah,
that matters very much to me.
Absolutely, and I kind of connect with them
agree.
because they're supposed to be like religious fanatics, and I'm pretty religious myself, and that's one of the things that kind of not that I'm not saying I want to burn people.
Purge the heretics.
That's but like that, and I actually got, since they aren't going to be producing them once the plastics come out, I got some of the older pewter models. At least I hope they're pewter and not
Lead.
what's the one that so. And I actually I want to make names for everyone in my army, so I named them B, Betty, Estelle, and Rue.
I like them. I like the names. I like them. They get the
You
Iron
know what I'm
Fist side
referencing,
on.
right?
I do not.
The Golden Girls.
Oh shit!
But the thing is, there's always a fifth one, right? Because the fifth one is the squad leader, and so I'm like, who's the fifth Golden Girl? And so I just named her Cheesecake.
I love it. Oh my god, totally worth it. So good. Gory Knight says, we're going to flay you while we're raping you. So he tends to quote me. So this is going to be fun coming down. There's quite a few of those quotes. But yeah, there you go. But that is what it is. We're going to flay you while we're raping you. That's how it goes. We got a cheese grater and we got a dildo with spikes. That's how it goes.
40K is so magical, and it's something that could only have been a product of the 80s.
Oh, so much, and then right before the 90s, where they took it too much, and they're like, yeah, now there's no heart to it. It's just the excess.
80s, it was very tongue-in-cheek. They knew it was ridiculous, whereas the 90s tried to make it too serious.
Yeah.
Actually, now that you mention that, do you guys know about the first 40K novel, Inquisitor?
No.
Mayhaps. Does that is that Dan Abnett?
No.
Okay, then it's not the one I know. Okay.
It's Ian Watson.
Yeah, no, I don't know that. Okay.
It's the first 40K novel. I will send you. Okay, Cody, I'm going to send you something that you're going to want to look at. It is. This was the very first 40K novel that was ever made.
The first piece of the Black Library. Okay.
No, this predates the Black Library.
Oh shit! The Harlequins are shitting their pants. All right.
Like this is, like let me see if I can find out that. Let me see if I can.
You Gorgonite. They will be taken out of context, and they can haunt me all they want. I will own them because you know what? It's me.
Hold up, let me pull it up. I want to make sure I get the date right for this. It's about an Inquisitor named Draco.
No, I don't. Okay.
The Inquisition War Trilogy by Ian Watson.
Yeah, no.
The first published. It was first published for the Three Inquisition. Okay, the first Draco, the earliest Warhammer 40K novel, published in 1990.
Whew. All right. Okay.
Yeah, and a little companion series that Brava Alpha Busa does to If the Emperor Had a Text-to-Speech Device is If the Emperor Had a Podcast.
I've seen the text-to-speech. That's always fucking hilarious. Poor guy stuck in a corpse, just being a beacon.
And the third episode was done on the Inquisitor novel.
Okay.
I'm gonna send you a link to that for your viewing pleasure later.
please do. I am very interested. I read the shit out of the Eisenhorn trilogy. The Raven. Oh God, what's his name? His Apprentice. I read his Apprentice's
They're
books
making
too.
a
It's been a long time.
series.
I know, and they're gonna shit all over it because there's no fucking way they can do it justice. It's literally impossible. If they do, I will totally eat my tongue. But I just don't see it. I can't see it because of how PC everything in 40K is. So they have to reshape it. They have to. I don't see any way that they could try and make it publicly consumable without reshaping it and breaking its heart.
Well,
I
if anything,
don't see it.
If anything, the Angels of Death series still has hope.
Again, the same rules apply as far as I know.
See something that has something
Look,
that has.
okay, look, I can get look. Okay, look. Let me put it this way: the Eisenhorn. Okay, that's being done through Amazon Prime. I'm willing to give you that one because they're obviously going to be at the mercy of.
From what I've heard, they've even changed the boys. The boys is super popular, but they even changed the boys compared to what the books are.
Yeah, but what I was going to say is, like, with out there, they might be at the mercy of of Amazon's mandates.
Yeah.
I will give you that one. So they kind of have to make
and
it.
Eisenhorn, he's such a motherfucking prick. I don't see how they could portray him and make him likable enough for in the books it's possible. And I mean they had Dan Abnett write the first 40K movie, the Ultramarines or whatever the fuck it was called, and of course that didn't have the budget it needed, but it was fine enough. It had enough of it. It was okay, but
what I was going to say is like
to make it compelling. Eisenhorn himself is very compelling because you're watching a good man, maybe not a very good man, but a good man turn towards darker and darker paths to try and do better and better. And I don't think they can do that. I really don't think they have the cojones. I don't think they have the fucking balls.
No, they did it with Breaking Bad, and I was rooting for
exactly. No, they did.
Heisenberg right till the
There were bad people. There were bad people.
I found myself making excuses for Walter White. That was scary.
HBO basically did that with 8 seasons of The Sopranos. I mean, like, are you gonna sit there and tell me with a straight face that Tony Soprano's a good man?
That's it. They just have to make him likable, and I get that. Eisenhorn, he eventually isn't even likable. He's a piece of shit. He's just trying his best in a world, a universe of complete hell. And even then, by the end of it, that's why he went into it's gonna bug me. I don't remember his apprentice's name because his apprentice is supposed to be who you're looking at as another, because he's raising this guy. He's trying to make him powerful. He's trying to make him better than him, and he does. This guy trapped in a wheelchair with all this psychic power, all this psychic potential. But Eisenhorn himself, he just gets eviler and eviler as he tries to grasp for more power so he can do better by the Empire. And I really hope they can. I really hope I love Eisenhorn.
But yeah,
okay. I don't trust Hollywood. Never will.
Like I said, what I'm willing to give you is that they'll probably be at the mercy of Amazon's mandates, which means they have to give it some sort of mass market appeal. But Angels of Death, that looks like it can still play to the fans.
I am not aware of Angels of Death, so I'll give you that.
Angels of Death it's a CG animated series about the Blood Angels.
About the Blood Angels, okay, that'll be interesting because
I have some good
Blood
news
Angels
regarding
are a Christian, straight Christian, fucking Orthodox. I mean, even Sanguinius, he gives himself to try and buy enough time for the Emperor. So they could do that. Again, I'm just hoping with all this, the popularity of the God Emperor, that concept becoming mainstream, which was a hell of a thing. 40K was always a very nerd thing. Even in nerds, it was very nerd. So I just hope they get the main thing, the main problem with anything with a lot of money is they get the most popular or the best that they can, and they may not be aware or involved with what they're working on. So that would be my worry. But I would hope that what you're saying, they don't have the corporate fucking demagogue looking over them and ready to slam the ban hammer. That they can do some truth to it, because 40K is worthy of that. But goddamn, I don't trust it.
Well,
Amazon.
I'm gonna offer a rebuttal. When Clarkson got his contract not renewed with the BBC, and of course they were always very restrictive with Top Gear. Amazon has given them pretty much free reign.
Yep.
And Clarkson especially is not PC at all.
Didn't Amazon also? Amazon also has the Man in the High Castle series too.
I'm not aware of either of those. I'm aware of Top Gear. Not too aware though.
Man in the High Castle. It's a Philip K. Dick novel. It's an alternate history where the Axis win World War II and chop up America. So basically, the whole west side of America is controlled by Japan, and the east side is controlled by Germany.
Interesting. I like the concept.
Is irrelevant as in real life.
Fucking Mussolini and all his posing. But okay, that's conceptually I'm interested, just like I would be with Wolfenstein. Same idea. But yeah, I'd have to see the execution. Again, the concepts are glorious. The things that they're trying to build with are glorious. They're genius. They've been worked for so long. But the motherfuckers in charge, the people with the money, I will never trust that. And if they deliver beyond that, great. But I can count on the number of the fingers on my left hand how many times that has actually worked out.
Have you even watched a single Amazon series once, Cody?
I have. I watched. Oh God, what was it? Fuck, I can't remember. You got me. I'm too many goddamn vodka shots in. You got me. You got me over a barrel, Brett.
Yeah.
Okay. Just to be merciful, I'm gonna run through the name Amazon.
I would love some lubrication.
You don't want the cheese grater dildo.
The boys.
Well, I mean, that comes later. You gotta earn that. You gotta really reach into my heart.
Did you say the boys?
There's the There's the boys. The Marvelous Miss Maisel.
I watched The Tick. That's the one I watched.
I watched that one too. That was pretty good.
Tick was good, and even compared to I liked the Patrick Warburton version very well, and I like the animated series. The Tick has always been done relative justice as far as I'm concerned.
I've heard good things about the boys so far.
Have I. I tried to start it. If I could get more than 20 minutes into something, usually I can finish it. I couldn't get 20 minutes into that, but that's me at the time I tried to watch it. That doesn't mean like I got as far as to some guy in a fucking electronics store. That's as far as I got. I was like, I don't like this fucker. What am I watching this for? He's a bitch. But he's gonna change. He's gonna change from a bitch, and he's gonna meet Judge Dredd. What the fuck's his name? McCoy.
Carl Urban.
Thank you. Yeah, he's gonna meet Carl Urban, and it's gonna turn out good. But I gotta rewatch it from there. I gotta be in the right mood, because that guy's nah. I don't want to deal with that. It ain't worth my time.
You got me over a barrel, Brett. I would love some lubrication.
Exactly. You know what? Yeah. You can quote me on all these. So far, I still haven't found one I would own up to.
In one instance, I am the guy giving it. I will
you know what? With some gratitude, Brett, because I have no fucking clue what's going on. Just spit on it first. That's all I care about. Oh shit. That's what we get. Let's see. Anything else? Tony Soprano did nothing wrong. Ethereal Dragon showed up. Thank you so much, brother. Mussolini was stupid. I absolutely agree. He just was a lot of pontification and charisma, which the Italian people at that time needed, because they felt very weak and very distraught. But
whose fault was that?
No shit, right? And that's what happens with a lot of nations. A lot of people believe that of Trump at the moment. It's a very hard argument for me to disagree with that. But there's a lot of that.
In one instance, I'm the guy
yes!
giving it. Upgrading to
Yes,
top
Gorgonite
finally.
quoted somebody else. I'll take it. I'll take it, and you can quote that too, as long as he spits on it, Gorgonite.
Oh, winner! I am a winner today.
He's finally a real boy.
Doesn't count though, butt virginity.
Okay, I just on Twitter I just retweeted this bit of Godzilla fan art, which is all the monsters just riding Splash Mountain. It's got Godzilla.
Oh, I've seen that. Podestump. No, not Podestump. Oh, what's his name? Oh, it's gonna bug me. The writer.
I think it was Matt Frank who I found it through Matt Frank.
Ah, God, what? Pell Creepy? What's his name? The writer that ends up working with Podestump a lot. I had seen it through him a couple days ago, where they're writing it's like him, Rodan, and a few others on a roller coaster.
It's Splash.
It's a great picture. Yeah, it's a great picture.
It's not a roller coaster, Cody. It's Splash Mountain.
It's a different one than I've seen. Then maybe. Tag my ass.
I know what I'm looking at. This is supposed to be Splash Mountain at Disneyland.
I only know Splash Mountain. I don't remember if I've been through there, but I played the Left 4 Dead modded level of Splash Mountain, and that's a hell of a thing. Yeah, Left 4 Dead 2 has that. Maybe I'll stream it one day. Going through Disneyland. It's a hell of a thing.
But yeah, what is funny about this is you got the first one. It's Mothra and Rodan enjoying themselves while Godzilla's completely unimpressed. It's like, and then you go to Ghidorah where you have the right head. He's having fun. The middle head looks almost terrified, and the left head, Kevin, is trying to make a funny face with the camera. And I intended to meme that again because I'm intended to do the sequel to our original Ghidorah meme with Lenore, Vamp, and Denise. Lenore always gets assigned the Kevin head. I can't help.
Freaking Kevin.
Yeah. And Gorgonite just posted the link to the tweet. Thank you.
That's very useful, Gorgonite. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one I saw. Yeah, Godzilla doesn't give a shit. He's been. Have you guys checked out? I was looking through for Godzilla graphic novels, right? And I found Godzilla in Hell, and it's a very low print run. The writer's very impressive, and I just read the preview on Amazon that you can look through. And goddamn, that looks like a hell of a book. I really want it, but the page count versus the price is a hell of a thing because of the print run. But conceptually, it's great because Godzilla doesn't give a shit. Hell is in a different world for him. He doesn't give a shit. He's a somehow a natural force, and I would like to read that.
Well, if a fucking atomic bomb can't put him out of commission, why would he care about the devil?
Atomic bomb is just a nice warm bath. That's all.
Yeah, made him stronger.
It's refreshing.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a nice sunbathe.
It's basically a 4-course meal for him.
Exactly. I need to. I actually ended up collecting all the Godzilla movies. I really need to go through them. I am sadly lacking on going through those. But conceptually, I'm very impressed with Godzilla as a character for how his pop culture has been able to stick around where many others haven't. Especially with the rubber suit gimmick, that's a hell of a thing. Ultraman, he's kind of stuck around, but
they kind of stopped doing the suit now. I mean, like Shin Godzilla with motion capture.
I know. They retired it after the actor who ended up playing it, which I respect. You know what? And I really not only respect but I adore that decision because he had passed. But
Yeah, Haruna.
because taking somebody taking his role as a rubber suited Godzilla, and that's a hilarious statement and concept.
Somebody did. Somebody did. Like
Yeah.
during when he okay, because the thing is, like the original special effects director for the first Godzilla movie, E.G. Tsuburaya, he passed away. But he passed away like after Terror of Mechagodzilla, and Nakajima retired after that, and so they got in a guy called I think his name was Kenshiro Satsuma.
Okay.
Kenshiro. Let me make sure if I got his name right.
Yeah, no worries. I am 100% ignorant.
Brett,
I'm sure
Brett,
many
do you
others
see-
are.
Yep.
Do you see what the Criterion Collection's doing?
I'm just gonna pull up Godzilla actors, suit actors. I better make sure.
Because we don't want what's the name of American Godzilla? You know, Godzilla 2000, but not Godzilla 2000. Zilla. That's it.
Yeah.
The one that got the animated series. Yeah.
I got his name. I got his name. It was Kenpachiro Satsuma. He was like Godzilla for the Heisei series. In fact, I found a whole list from Wikizilla of people that have. Well, okay, it says suit actors, so that does not necessarily mean that all of them played Godzilla. But yeah.
What was the original? What was the original guy? I remember he passed.
Haruo Nakajima.
When did he pass? It was a little while ago. I remember.
It was. It was. Let me look it up. Pulling it up right now. It was not. It was very recently, in fact.
Oh,
he
really?
died in it was 2017.
Oh shit! Okay, that was much more recent than I thought it was.
In the end credits of King of the Monsters.
He was 88. He was 88 when he died.
That's why I thought he had watching him in the suit, like through anything that's not the actual movie is a hell of a thing. The guy as an actor was a hell of a he took that kabuki theater bit of trying to put something very big in front of the audience, which is very hard to do.
Well,
and he was able to do that.
Not really kabuki theater. He was trying to model large animals, actually.
Well, there you go. Okay, that makes sense. But nonetheless, he made it larger than life, which is what you had.
He made it not just that. He made it look easy.
I don't know. Well, okay, yeah, yeah. It made it look like you could don the suit and you could smash some fucking buildings. I'll give you that. I'll give you that.
But yeah, it's very well. It is well known. It's well known like how difficult it was to be in that suit. Like the first movie, he actually passed out from heat exhaustion
multiple times, I think.
Yeah.
Because they were under studio lights, which if you don't know, studio lights get very hot.
I do.
You got to
very
turn them
well
off after a while; they'll start burning stuff.
Yep,
like
I used to.
but...
I used to play in a rock band and wearing leather while you're under studio lights. Yeah, that'll kick the fuck out of you. That's for sure. But know what? It'll take you out of the experience, which is actually very important, so that you can perform bigger than life. But yeah, no, I would not want to be in a big rubber suit. That's worse than leather. That's 100% worse than leather.
It's like several hundred pounds of rubber under studio lights.
Yeah, no, that takes a hell of a constitution, and thank God for that guy lasting until 88 and giving us all that wonderful content. It's a hell of a thing.
On that note, folks, it's 11 o'clock my time, so I hate to break up the party, but I'm going to need to turn in. So is there anything anyone would like to say before we sign off?
Well, Cody, since you kind of interjected yourself, how about you just plug Jack Irons?
I don't want to plug Jack Irons.
Plug Jack Irons, dude.
Actually, we're gonna hopefully we ship coming Friday and the weekend. So that's my hope. folks can start receiving it the next week. That would be wonderful. I'm very I want to know what people think of our work with Jack 2, and it's been a long fucking time coming, god damn it. But but I'm gonna plug Cactus Coyote because that's what we're running right now.
Yes, that's what I was gonna bring up. Where's Cactus
Exactly.
Coyote's Indiegogo right now?
Please go check that out. It's got a anime edge. It's got your waifu. It's got your sexiness. It's got your gambling. It's got all that adult shit that you can't get anymore because fucking Vertigo's gone. Fucking Image doesn't give a shit about that anymore. Well, Ironverse Comics does. And
how's it doing right now? Like how
we
far
are at, I believe, $467 and 25 backers. But let me refresh. Maybe we got somebody. Probably not.
Have it up right now. So yeah.
And we're working for $7,777 on our fixed goal. We want to rack up those sevens for Coyote. It's a hell of a thing. I believe in the project. I've read scripts up to fucking Arc 3. For God's sakes, Dollar Coin has put a lot of work and passion into this project, and I'm 100% behind it. It carves out the space world of Jack Irons. It carves out the other part. It allows you to see what a garbage disposal does to try and find his place in the universe. And I really hope you folks will at least take a look. We've tried very hard. We got Stephen Cannon on colors. Hopefully we'll have both covers, both the rear and the front cover here in a couple weeks. I'm assuming next week we'll have that. And we've had at least one color page so you folks can see what Stephen Cannon, the colorist for Jack Irons 2, can do on Cactus Coyote. I really am placing all my faith behind this bet. It's a hell of a thing. You folks go ahead and check it out. Indiegogo, Cactus Coyote. I could do better if I was not so far in. But I absolutely adore you. Give me the chance. Thank you so much.
Would you like to watch the promo video?
I would love to watch the promo video.
Here it is.
Cactus put a little bit of time in there. Oh, look at that! Mythoverse doing some promo. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
No problem.
Actually, I think there's a Cactus Coyote Easter egg in Changeling.
Yes, there is.
There is, isn't there? Wow. Okay, I don't know that.
Ginger, would you please?
Oh,
let's watch this.
You expect me to dig up an image, aren't you?
Well, don't worry about that. We're going to play the video. Don't worry about that. This is by Dollar Coins and the Jukebox, which is actually his brother's work. They've done an incredible job with the theme. And he did a pretty goddamn good job with our intro video, if I may say. It implies quite a bit. If you don't mind full screening, my brother. Let's see. You can read the 40-page preview manga on Tapas. If you guys are interested at all, it's free, and I hope you enjoy it. Dollar Coins and I worked very hard on it. I did the lettering. It's very unprofessional. I'm not much of but the paneling and such, Dollar Coins does a name before Andrea Boscolo does the art for the Western comics. So you'll get quite a feel for what we're trying to do with Cactus Coyote by checking out Tapas. Just type in Cactus Coyote and Tapas, and I'm sure it'll fucking show up.
You don't have to show it. Just what's the big Cactus Coyote Easter egg you put into Changeling there?
Actually, it's on the cover.
It's on the
if you
cover.
have that file handy.
Woo! That's a hell of a thing. Thank you, friend.
Maeve has a cactus that I designed after the cactus on Coyote's hat.
Right on. Thank you so much. The cactus, in theory, with Cactus Coyote, is part of his attempt to find an identity in a absolutely horrific universe. And he was taken as a garbage disposal by Plague, one of the four main horrors of Ironverse. And you can imagine the things that were shoved into this poor sweet little thing. And that was one of his adaptations. So I absolutely adore the fact. Thank you so much.
Cool.
If I remember correctly, the cactus in Maeve's room is a nightlight, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Right on. Thank you so much. It is a positive thing. He's trying to move, but he always fucks up, and that's part of Cactus Coyote. He always gambles too much. He always puts too much towards people who don't deserve that. And I think we can all understand that because that does happen. We try where people and things don't deserve it because we think they do. And that's part of the expression of Cactus Coyote. Anywho, thank you so much, folks, for indulging in. Looks like Gory Knight went ahead and did. He also went ahead and quoted me. You can imagine the things shoved into this font. I can't even finish that. You got me, Gory Knight. You got me. You got me.
Thank you, Gorgonite, and for that all the entertainment you provided for us tonight. I have taken your link,
Absolutely,
and I put it up on the screen right now. This is the project that he's developing for the Mythoverse, Xanthos, and you can follow it on Twitter at @remnant_soul. And here
Please
it is.
do. Go ahead and follow that. Gorgonite's been great along the indie community.
Yeah.
Anyone else have anything they want to talk about real quick before I sign off?
Ginger, Alabaster, you guys got anything?
I'll probably just save it for next time. I just had to add questions about like writing and stuff.
All right then. How about you, Ginger?
I'm just happily coloring, so I guess for the next show I'll have something more than a screenshot with a bunch of orange panels.
Well, we
Hey, like
love
I
your
said,
orange panels, so
Orange is fucking great.
I'm drinking an orange drink right now.
I don't care. Progress is progress.
Take that win.
Matt, anything you want to talk about real quick?
Well, Mythics is about. Beth has estimated about 2 to 3 weeks I left on production. Then it's all up to you guys to get the get the rest of it done.
Oh, I see. So it's a race. Well, it's not fair. It's not fair because you got one person doing everything. You see, I got.
No matter what, who gets first place? The fucking Mythoverse. Shut the fuck up.
I would never take anything away from Ginger, but I think when looking at it objectively, you would be hard pressed to find a woman that is working harder in comics than Beth.
No shit. I'm 100% behind.
Yeah, it's amazing because I remember at the very beginning I was thinking, oh man, they're so far ahead. I'm so jealous, and now it's just, hey, I'm farther ahead.
Neostar says
Yeah.
Cactus Coyote would probably get along real well with Gorizer. That's his original character, and I believe he is working with Leonore to get some coloring done. So that would be
Very good.
Yes.
Yeah, from what I've seen of the coloring, that's fucking incredible.
Yeah.
Neostar, always wonderful. And I would assume so. Cactus is very amiable, but I don't know. He's down on his luck. You'll see. The writer Dollar Coins, he'll be taking you for a very dark ride. That's pretty much what the Ironverse does to you. You'll love the characters, but sadly, they got a hard journey to get anywhere.
So Warhammer Light.
Somewhat. I would say Warhammer Light meets like Fistful of Dollars. You'll get your satisfaction issue, but it doesn't mean they're getting very far.
Well, Dan, we don't have to plug our Twitters. Gorgonite did that for us.
Gorgonite's the man. Thank you,
Gorgonite's
Gorgonite.
been killing it.
Gorgonite's great. I'm really looking forward to seeing how Xanthos gets developed. Adobe on Twitter has a lot of fun bantering with Xanthos, so I always have fun. I always have fun jumping into character to play with Xanthos. So, all right, folks, if that's it, thank you very much, everybody in the chat. Thank you, everyone on the panel, and we'll do this again next week. Don't forget to download Cast if you want to join us next Monday for the Mythoverse movie night, and bring your popcorn and booze. And until
Ben, we'll be trying again next Monday for Kong Skull Island.
All right. Until then, stay safe, stay sane. Have a good night.